Actually, if we get it in the wrong way,
Yeah, Janetta relatives. That's Mike Janetta, I met him, that's his wife. There's a happy couple. There's Alistair, there's Mary. There's some other relatives, none of which I know, but they're all relatives of ours, one way or the other. Reception line. There are 170 guests. All the boys want to meet Sarah. In this shot, she looks a little bit like Lady Diana. Clown. See the hats from the ladies, they're all like 4 weddings and a funeral. Still holding up, huh?
Sorry I couldn't arrange the weather, but my Joe had a real good go at it. The reason we're not wearing kilts because my knees are all sore. I've been playing and we got a spell, it wasn't bad. So I was also going to take this opportunity of thanking everyone for being here today. Ian mentioned it already, people have travelled from all parts of Scotland, England, and our dear friends cousins from America, who have given us lovely bridesmaid in Sarah, and we're here with our friends. We appreciate the fact that they've come all this way, and we hope that they enjoy this Scottish wedding. And as far as the rest of the community is concerned, Mary and I, certainly as host and hostess, wish everyone to have a really fine day, certainly the evening which is to come, which is more my scene really. Anyway, it's at a time like this when I can maybe reflect a bit on the day of Louise. Her life maybe. One or two wee stories that maybe she maybe won't remember them, But they do have little links with people in heaven. And I thought maybe that would be nice if we did it that way. So let's take her first of all as a little baby. You certainly won't remember that. Anyway, she's a little baby, and she's, as you know, we've got a strong Italian side to the family. And so she's with her mum visiting her Auntie Margaret in the shop in here. And of course, oh, see the baby. So the baby, oh, look at this, great, lovely, everybody. So, right, Mary, we'll give her some ice cream. Oh, Mary just would collapse on the spot. Ice cream, no, do we? No, ice cream. Why? I'll tell you this, she get ice cream because it was good enough for her dad. It was good enough for her. Well, I got ice cream when I was. But anyone knows, I suppose, knows I like ice cream. She certainly loves ice cream. So that's one story. The other one, there was a family from Forfar that couldn't make it today because they're not terribly well. But it was a place that my mother and Louise and her mum used to visit quite regularly. And one occasion she's got this size, she's turning about and they have a wee poodle. We'll go for a walk. So she takes the dog for a walk. The trouble was, the dog knew the way back. She didn't. And if you talk to this family and talk to the people up there that were close at the time, it was a full-scale police job. We lost it. But I'm pleased to say we got it again. She also had, on one occasion, fell out with her grandma. And she was only once maybe at that age. And she decided she was coming home. Well, I'll tell you, it was 20 miles she walked home. And in that period, there was equal panic. So Gordon, it's a hell of a long way for East Kilbride. So that's all I can say. In her teenage years, she quite liked horse riding. Used to go quite often, regularly on Saturday. Pick her up one Saturday, she was quite annoyed, distressed. What was wrong? Oh, horse and better. Horse and better. On the shoulder. Oh, her mother, panic stricken. In the car, where does she go? Up to see Dr. Derek sitting up there. That treats her, gives her all the medication necessary and what have you. And she's still fuming away because he knows she's a bit that tight. And, he's heading out the door. What does he say? By the way, Louise, how's the horse? Dollar Academy. Now there's a period which has its moments. I don't know enough of him really, but there is a guy, David Hunter, who knows lots of them. And I would suggest that once he's 45 later on, he can tell you stories and make your hair curl. I don't want to mention any of them. All I would say though is Dollar is situated in such a place that every winter it snowed and it always got blocked. And even when snow ploughs and everything else couldn't get through, I always got the phone call and I was always meant to go. And I always made it and we got her back. Whatever happened. So that was that. University followed, and that's where our other bridesmaid of the day, Carla, appeared, and that gave me double the problem. Because I spent those years getting all the washing done, and food organised, and transportation back and forward. I think it wore me down. I certainly burnt the toast a few times. Anyway, they were both successful in getting what they were set out to do, and that was university. A working life followed, and Simon somewhere, and she tells me she works hard, and I've only got that to go by. But it was in that period now that she's met Gordon. Now, that's something else. Because after a few visits, asked the inevitable question, well, Dad, what do you think? Well, I can honestly say, I'll tell you what I said then, I'll say it, I thought he was a I said he was a nice guy, and for my money he was a man's man, and you know, I took the point he was a Motherwell supporter, I'm a East Fife supporter, but I've got an Hearts supporter here, and he's got me to wear this claret affair on Motherwell. It's half the colours, but he doesn't know what his underpants are for his honeymoon. Anyway, Gordon, we welcome you into our family, and we feel that you make Louise very, very good. Now, far be it from me maybe to offer kind of advice on marriage. I always like to say something and talk a wee bit. And from Ian and I's point of view, have a look at the two mums, because they don't look radiant today. And, they've worked hard and they deserve to have the enjoyment that goes with it as well. Now, you're going to have disagreements. That goes with this. Lots of them. I would say keep them short. You know, don't make them last long. And you know, obviously listen to each other, kind of come and go a bit. You know, look at the problem. And don't forget, a wee kiss and a cuddle. Probably the best answer. So, see on that sort. Before we conclude the post, I would just like to say a thank you to Ian and Diane, because they've been very, very supportive of the marriage and the wedding, their son to my daughter. And, you know, we've enjoyed company so far. Sure, we're going to have many happy years together. And thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, going to sit down now because dancing's my scene and it follows bar as well. So, can I ask you now to be upstanding, join me in toasting Gordon Livingston.
It's my great pleasure to welcome all of you here today to celebrate our first hours of marriage. In the last hour I've realised what married life is all about. It was summed up eloquently in one phrase by my lovely bride. No, you're not going to the bar with your pals to see the rugby. Come and have your tea before it gets cold. Wives are certainly not as easy to get round as mothers, so here I am. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Morgan for organising the entire day. It's by far the best reception I've been at, as well as being my first. It's credit to Mrs. Morgan's hard work and unfortunate debits to Mr. Morgan's bank account that have ensured that the day has gone smoothly. And for this effort and generosity, we're both very grateful. I'd also like to thank Mr. Morgan for his kind words to us both, but especially for the gift of his daughter. He told me recently that it was not so hard to bear, because he felt that he was not losing a daughter, but gaining a telephone, several satellite channels beyond any and a healthier bank balance. I realised what he meant last week when Louise arrived home and she said to me she just bought 8 dresses for our honeymoon. On asking what anyone could want with 8 new dresses, she smiled sweetly and replied, 8 new hats. I must admit, however, that Louise has a long list of good qualities, but unfortunately I can't decipher her handwriting at the moment. Attack, though, is not a strong point, certainly not where I'm concerned. When discussing potential destinations for our honeymoon, which we managed to still keep a secret, I said that I didn't mind where we went in certain conditions. It had to be warm, clean, different, and somewhere I've never been before. How about the kitchen, was the reply. On the subject of foreign lands, I would like to welcome friends and relatives from England, Italy, Ireland and America. It was especially pleasing to have so many of the American contingent, not only because it allowed us to borrow Sarah as bridesmaid for the day, but also because we realised how much of a culture shock it must be for them to come to a place like Kinross. In fact, John was telling me last night that it can take him a whole day to drive to the nearest city, although I've got a car pretty much like that too. On my side of the family, I'm very pleased to have my papa here today. At almost 92, he's the senior member of our family, although our Cocker Spaniel Scamp's catching up on him. See all that kind of getting the calculators out now, trying to work it out. It was actually my papa who bought me my first calculator when I went to university, because my parents couldn't afford one. I remember we used to go down to his house on a Sunday, and he would tell myself and Andy to count the loose change he kept in his dressing gown pocket, and to split it between ourselves. Remember that? This particular day there was over £15 in the dressing gown, and I asked Papa why there was so much. He told me that the previous day he'd been up at the bowling club with a few of his friends, and he was discussing the good old days at which two of his pals declared, "Not at all. I think it's much better now than it ever was." "How do you mean?" asked Papa. "Well," said Mr. Johnson, "all the young dollybuds from the nightclub across the road follow us older men home. They say that we make much better lovers than these youngsters. And they even leave some money beside the bed for our troubles on their way out." "Last week I got £50 and bought my grandson a bike, and Jimmy next door got his granddaughter a new doll's house. So get yourself a calculator for university, son." It's a gift from your papa. I'm still curious. "Papa, you gave me £15.40. Tell me, who gave you the 40 pence?" "Ah, son," he replied, "I'm really popular, they all did." Except for one thing, and that was she must never look in the top drawer of his desk. After 28 years of marriage, curiosity got the better of her while she was spring cleaning. She had a look inside and she found in it 2 golf balls and £5,000. When Dad got home, she confronted him about this, and she told him about discovery, but didn't understand what the curiosity was with it. What was the secret? Dad then admitted to her that on their wedding day, he had decided that if he ever had an affair, he would put a golf ball in the top drawer of his desk. "I can forgive you for 2 minor indiscretions in 28 years, said my mum. "But what about the £5,000? "Well," replied Dad, "I have to say that every time I got a dozen golf balls, I sold them." I'm pleased that both sets of parents have received us with open arms. It makes it a hell of a lot easier, isn't it? Indeed, it was clear from the start that my dad liked having a young girl about the house, especially when Louise turned up in her cycling shorts. It was all about the time when my dad had just got his new car. He was proudly showing off his new Lexus with indoor CD player, heated seats and electric sunroof. "That's terrific," said Louise, "but what are those small holes beside the armrest?" "That's where you put your golf tees when you're driving," he replied. "And what about the larger holes beside those?" "Well, that's to rest your balls." My, let's just think of everything, don't we? Moving on. Moving on to those who've actually done the hard work today. I'd first like to thank my 3 supporting actors. Andy is my best man. I must admit, I was slightly nervous about having Andy as my best man after his boss, Gordon Beatty, who's here tonight as well, told me that he'd sent him out to South America to report on a recent volcano. Gordon has specifically asked for the facts only, none of this flowery journalism, just the facts. However, on viewing the scene, it touched Andy's soul. Yes, journalists do have souls. And he began his report. "As the mighty flaming, gushing volcano subsided, God sat upon the mountain above this tiny village. My caller was immediate from BT Media. Good Andy, great. The madame asked if you would prefer massage or super sex. Oh, replied Kerry, what's the soup? Keith, however, managed to keep himself out of trouble in Arran, mainly because he couldn't get out of his bedroom, with all my furniture from my room propped up behind his door. Even the light bulb had to be turned on the Sunday morning. I'm actually slightly worried about Keith because he's going away on a sailing holiday around Greece in a fortnight. The problem is he's managed to keep out of trouble since his last sailing holiday about 10 years ago, and that marooned him on a desert island. After 5 years, a beautiful blonde in a wetsuit was washed up on the beach. After chatting for a while, she asked if he would like a drink. Knowing Keith, yeah, straight away. So unzipping a pocket in a wetsuit, she removed a bottle of X. When you were back in the big world, did you smoke? She asked. He nodded, at which she unzipped another pocket and handed him a packet of cigarettes and a lighter. Keith, now in his element, at which point the blonde turns to him. 5 years is a long time, Keith, she says. Would you like to play around? Keith's eyes lit up. He said, don't tell me you've got golf clubs in there too. My thanks must also go to the two ministers, David MacLeod and Cameron Mackenzie, who've not only conducted the most important part of the day, but also been available throughout the year for any advice we may have required. Fortunately, we did not need to pester them too often, but Louise did inquire from David what his views were on sex before marriage. He stated that he was totally against this because it held up the service. See, that's why we had two ministers. Louise went to Cameron for a second opinion. I've also heard that as a keen-hearted Midlothian supporter, David conducts himself in a similar fashion when at Tynecastle when in the pulpit. As it should be, I hear some of you say, a minister is never off duty. But I was told that it was because he can be heard shouting from the terraces in the same manner he begins a prayer. Oh Lord Jesus Christ. It amazes me how a cross such as yours can cause grief to so many of your followers. I'm also very pleased to have Cameron here today, not only because he christened myself as a baby, but I learnt last week from my mother that he also married her 28 years ago. It's a pity it didn't work out for him. Well, actually, it's maybe just as well. I heard that since retiring last November, Cameron was at a reception for it was a reunion of former ministers. During the meal, he offered the minister across the table some champagne. No, thank you, the minister replied, horrified. I'd rather commit adultery. So would I, replied Cameron, but I didn't know there was a choice. Seriously though, my heartfelt thanks go out to David for all his help with the wedding ceremony, and to Cameron for breaking retirement to help make this a special day. My final thanks go to the two radiant young ladies who have carried out their duty. Finally, I would like to thank Louise for accepting my proposal last year, albeit the reply, are you serious? Didn't really fill me with a great deal of confidence that I'd be standing up here today. All that remains to me now is to ask you to join with me in a toast to the two bridesmaids. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please raise your glasses?
Risky for half of the company here today, and even the women may have been offended too. So I whittled it down, edited out all the wee dirty bits, came up with a clean version of my dad's speech. So I decided to write a version of my own. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, because I was delighted to have been asked by Gordon to be his best man, not least because of the vantage point it gives you in the church. You notice so much up there at the front. Like, for instance, at that part of the ceremony where the minister asks if anyone in the congregation knows any reason why this man and woman should not be married, I was perfectly positioned for the acoustics to let me hear a small, hesitant voice say, yes, I'd like to say something. To which the minister hissed, "Shut up! You're not a member of the congregation, you're the groom." Such advice and encouragement has been forthcoming to Gordon from all directions. For instance, only last night I overheard Mr. Morgan chatting to Gordon. "Congratulations, my boy," he said. "I'm sure you'll look back on today as the happiest day of your life." "But I'm not getting married until tomorrow," Gordon pointed out. "I know," said Mr. Morgan. My own dad never hesitated to give advice to anyone. After all, those who can't pay can now get legal aid. Also had some final words for Gordon. "By all means, take a wife," he said. "Just always make sure it's your own." I think that at this point, it's important to learn about the sort of person Gordon is. And the best way I can think to do so is to give you a brief glimpse of his life. 1970, 29th April. He was born, which is always a good start. He was a lovely baby. Of course he was. There's absolutely no truth in the rumour that when he was born, the midwife slapped his mum. 1970, 29th April, still. He starts moaning and whining. I don't actually have a date for when he stops, but estimates put it in 1998. October 1970, Gordon eventually woke up. which then set the pattern for his sleeping habits ever since. People urge to dump them into a ditch as she passes in the car. After bringing her total for the journey to around half dozen, she spotted a hitchhiker at the side of the road. It was Papa Livingstone. He'd intended to jog here. But he got a bit tired halfway after a particularly strenuous game of five-a-sides the night before. Carla duly picked him up, which is not an uncommon occurrence for my papa. And the journey went smoothly until she spotted a cyclist in the distance. Her fingers tightened on the steering wheel. Her eyes glazed over. Her foot pressed on the accelerator. Speedometer hit 60, then 70, then 80, then 90 as she closed in on the unsuspecting cyclist. At the last moment she remembered she had Papa Livingstone sitting beside her, and with a supreme effort she swerved away from the cyclist. She'd nearly given herself away. "Damn," she cursed. "It's okay, lass," said Papa. I opened my door and caught my cracker. So fortunately, if not uneventfully, the bridesmaids made it here to add their grace, charm and beauty to this happy occasion. And on behalf of Sarah and Carla, can I thank Gordon for his kind remarks and wish Gordon and Louise every health and happiness in their marriage over the coming years. Thank you.
What you would regard and agree was a superb meal. And to Bernadette in particular, over there, our catering manageress, for organising everything here superbly well and so professionally. And also, really, from perhaps the finest natural singing I've ever heard in a church. Thank you also to our two ministers who performed an admirable double act in the church. Mr. MacLeod from Cleash, who has given support and guidance to Gordon and Louise over the last year. And Mr. MacLeod told me that his advice for marriage came from his own wedding, because he said, after my own wedding, he said, we agreed, my wife and I, that all the small decisions she makes, and all the big decisions I make. And all through, he says, it's been quite amazing, 20 years of marriage. I've never had to face one big decision. And also to Cameron Mackenzie, our old minister, in the best terms. Our old minister from Motherwell, now retired to Frookie, who officiated, as was said, at our wedding almost 30 years ago, and who christened both Andy and Gordon. In fact, Gordon's name is Gordon Cameron Livingstone, because we're like to name Cameron, and also we're like to man, Cameron Mackenzie. He is simply the best, let me tell you. Thank you very much to both ministers. Above all, thanks to our hosts, Alistair and Mary Morgan. Mary, I may tell you, is a totally professional person in the bank, which is even more professional at organising weddings. And if ever the Royal Bank dispensed with her services, she could make a fortune organising weddings for other people. She's absolutely superb at it, and we thank her, and our part of the family, for being so accommodating and so helpful to us. We thank Alistair and Mary, therefore, for their hospitality and their generosity, and simply for allowing us, all of us, to share with them